flaked on a deal for a lifetime of burgers. His lawyer says it is time now for night courts. Okay, Curtis Bruner is suing Burger King after he says they revoked an offer of free food for life. Bruner's attorney says he struck the deal after being trapped in a restroom at an Oregon location of the fast food restaurant for more than an hour. Bruner says employees were laughing at him and they actually cut his hand trying to get the door open himself. He says the incident triggered his post-traumatic stress and he sat at the restaurant trying to regain his composure for about an hour. He says that's when the store manager offered him free food for life. But when the regional manager found out, the deal ended after just 13 days. Bruner's now suing Burger King to make good on the verbal agreement, but does he have a case? Our legal eagles are here to debate tonight, and you are the jury at home, so listen up. Civil rights attorney Robert Patillo, and from the Judicial Crisis Network, Gail Trotter. Welcome to you both.
Great to be here.
Thank you.
Okay, let's start with Exhibit A. This is from Mr. Bruner. He says they created an unsafe environment. Someone could have had a medical situation. You could have had a fatality. You could have had a child locked in there, someone elderly. They're actually lucky that it was me. Robert?
Well, you cannot litigate on woulda, shoulda, coulda, what could have happened. You have to go on actual pecuniary injury that occurred to the individual. Let's just take it in turn. Let's just say that everything he says is true. That manager never sought approval from Burger King higher-ups. They never went through the proper chain of command. She did not have the authority to make the offer. Let's also not forget that Mr. Bronner went to that Burger King 13 times, 13 of the next 15 days to eat, and on 2 occasions ate there twice a day. So even if it was an agreement, I don't think the agreement was to that extent. And the fact that now he has a lawyer, but he never got this in writing. He never got a contract signed from Burger King saying that he agreed to this. This is the equivalent of having a homeboy who works at Burger King that you got to hook up with, who gives you free food. Remember in high school, everyone had that one friend who worked fast food who will give you free food? That's what he had. He didn't have a legally binding contract.
Okay, Gail, so what about that? Because what they're asking for now is essentially the equivalent of one Whopper meal a week for the rest of his life. It's a little over $9,000. I'd be asking for a lot more. This guy obviously likes going there. I mean, at least once a day. But they say if you don't give us the $9 grand, then we basically want to sue for these injuries that he suffered while he was locked in there, the physical injury he had, and the emotional too.
Well, this is the type of case that law professors love because there's so much to dig into. And clearly this man has a beef with Burger King. And I think
not as much as he'd like.
No. And if you look at the argument, there's so many interesting details in his case. He is suing for free food for life, which is what he says that the manager made a promise on. And he says in coming up with the $9,000 of damages, which is really a very small amount of damages,
I think so too.
as you're saying. He's taking the cost of a burger meal once a week for his life expectancy, which his life expectancy is 77 years, except he discounts it by 5 years for his frequent cheeseburger consumption. So as I said, law professors would just love this.
All right,
yes.
Burger King, by the way, is not commenting on this publicly yet. I'm going to skip Exhibit B and go to Exhibit C here. And this is what he says about the bathroom, the fact that it was already damaged, and they should have known. He says, prior to December 15th, 2018, Burger King's bathroom door showed signs of damage caused by other people who had previously been locked inside, establishing that Burger King knew and should have known that its bathroom door lock was not safe or suitable for use by its customers. Robert.
But he still has to show actual injury as a result of such. So if he can show that, if he has psychological records from an actual medical doctor saying that his PTSD was triggered by this action, if he's able to show that there was some kind of additional, besides the scratch on his hand or cut on his hand, some sort of injury that justifies the amount of money he's suing for, but he's shown none of this. He accepted a verbal contract from a store manager, not a regional manager, not from Burger King corporate, to have just free sandwiches for life, and he has not just exploited that, but overused it to the point they had to bring in Burger King corporate.
Quick final word to you, Gail.
Well, I think if you look at the case, the man should get his free food because a deal is a deal, and it was made by the manager of the restaurant, and he had the expectation that the manager could make that settlement with him.
Well, we are going to follow this case, and thank you both for arguing it tonight. And at home, you're the jury. Don't forget, tweet us at Shannon Bream or at Fox News Night to let us know how you would rule. Thank you, guys. I'm great.